Eneasi malo mo'ui talamonu te te koe I he pakosia ai ahamau inga koe. On days like this, many Tongan families celebrate by giving the birthday person a big key. It's actually a key that doesn't open anything, but it symbolizes the trust of the family that has been given to that person. It's symbolic that the key, with this key, the birthday person has received both the permission and the blessing of the family, that you have permission to be an adult, so to speak. In your case, Eneasi, I think you have received several keys through the last 21 years. I think when you started crawling, your parents gave you that key, that permission, the blessing. When you started to speak, you received another symbolic key. Went to school. When you succeeded in school, you played sports. So my guess, Eneasi, is that in the last 20 years, you have received at least 21 keys. And I'm sure your mother gave you another 21 keys, but she did not tell anyone about that. That's how mothers are. But congratulations on reaching this significant part of your journey. Most Tongan families also will have a lotu. And in that lotu, which is what I'm supposed to be doing, they would have a Bible verse and you'll get a sermon. And then someone will say a prayer for you. For your birthday, and I hope you don't mind my doing this, I'm not going to offer you a Bible verse or Bible passage. I leave that to your uncles and your aunties. But I want to share with you a poem by Karlo Mila, and the title is What Some of Our Words Mean. And at the end of the reading of the poem, Karlo also provides a short explanation on what the poem is about.
What some of our words mean. We come from people who sang to the gods and then listened through the openings in the objects, waiting for a reply. We come from people who can travel between this shore and those ones. Even now, there are blood vessels who can anchor in the other world, heavyweights who can speak to the tongued language of the past, hold a whole community safe with their gravitas on choppy water, oracle us back to the future, taula, kaura. We who believe that even without the biological obvious of DNA in our bodies, our ancestors are always within us, waiting to be received, waiting to be breathed through us into the world of light. Tupuna. We will spend a lifetime trying to remember who we are and live what that means. The departed fresh on our faces, the next breath in a long line of who has been the making of us, the chosen ones who connect the future to the past, the chosen ones who create everything that is possible for those who will come. Mokopuna. Okay, so this poem is a bit of an ode to the beauty of Pacific languages, and I'd really encourage you to Google what the words mean and then go back and reread the stanza that describes it, because it will help make more sense of it. There are so many metaphors just in ordinary Pacific language. So I'm talking about Samoan, Tongan, Niuean, Māori, Cook Islands Māori. The word taura or taula is in all of them. And taula in particular is quite a special word because it means both anchor, or else the rope that attaches to an anchor, and also it's our traditional word for a priest or an oracle who could maybe anchor in an entire community with their faith and spiritual guidance, or else who could anchor in the realm of the spirits. And vaka is quite similar. It means a boat, vaka waka, but it also means objects through which travel between worlds or realms. So there's a whole lot of magic in our indigenous moana words, or words that are indigenous to the Pacific. And this poem is a bit of an ode to that beauty and magic.
So Eneasi, because you are Vaka'uta, I think both meanings of taula apply to you. As vaka, you need that taula, that anchor to hold you. And since you are a Vaka'uta, not Vakatahi or Vakapuna, you have this opportunity to be a taula, a priest. But you don't have to be a whaiwhikau like your father. You, by being a Vaka'uta, you can be a taula so that you can give guidance to your family. And I know that there is a kolokakala and kolomotua side to your family. And we together, we celebrate you as a taula. You keep the family steady and you give guidance and you give healing for the family when they need it. Which brings me to what I think was your very first key, the very first key given to you, which is your name, Vaka'uta, but Eneasi as well. Eneasi is the first key. It's permission, it's blessing for you to become a taula for the family, taula for your generation. And at some point, you might give the name to the next generation, whether it's a child of yours or a nephew, and give that blessing for the next Eneasi to become a taula. I think that first key is very important. And that is the key on which I'll offer a short prayer. If I was with you, I would probably pick on somebody who is there to do the prayer, but I will offer a short prayer reflecting on what Karlo, as the poem, what Karlo has done in the poem to invite us to appreciate our languages and also to see the deep meanings in our words. Kitau lotu. O tua maaf yung mau whamalo atu, he kokoe ai taula o family. You have been the anchor for this Vaka'uta family, and you have been the priest, the healer for the family during times of illness, during times of despair. You have been an ongoing taula for Eneasi, his parents, his siblings, and the rest of the family. We ask that you continue to be taula to Eneasi, and that you enable and help Eneasi to become a taula for his generation and for the generation to come. Taula, not only as someone who holds the family steady and strong, but taula as a guide and as a healer for those times when they are needed. Bless Eneasi. Bless everyone who is celebrating his birthday with him. And those who are there in Aotearoa and those who are in other places from Hawaii to Tonga and in between, we ask your blessing and ongoing taula for all of us. Tabuak mai maudol eki pe moe fiefia, pe moe feohi o whakahoko i Nusila, kai o maa e ngahi loto, mo e whakatua merie o ku kakau atu, me ngai whanua keke. Tau whi awa mo koe i e whiawhini, i e ahoni, pe moe kahauna, i a kalaisi, ko mau whamoui. Amen. I want to add here, Eneasi, that before I finish, I want to say that talamonu to you. And I want to just to mention that I know there's a Hapai Masani part of your family, and I'm sure they are going crazy at the moment. But then there's that Ewa Ongongofua part of your family as well. And we wish you well in the next 21 plus many more years to come. Remember the keys that you have been given. Remember the permission and the blessing. Don't abuse the permission. You use them for your, not only for your good, but for the good of the family, the whole family. O mo kau tangata eki o kai ke nau lava kau atu mo koe i he ahon. Ka kou whakafofonga i atu ai mau ofa, te mo mau talamonu, kia te koe i au mau ingani. All the best, Eneasi. Ofa.